You know, George Orwell warned us about this 60 years ago. The whole notion that at some point we're going to be afraid to say or do anything. Well, consider this. Anytime that people talk about George Orwell and the whole concept of Big Brother, they worry about the government spying on them. There have been recent controversies pertaining to NSA, listening on people's emails and their phone calls, such like that. But if you've read 1984, you find that the whole notion of Big Brother is actually much deeper than that. Poor Winston was observing how he and everyone around him was afraid to say or do anything, not necessarily just because the government would catch them, but they were afraid of each other. Who amongst them would be the snitches and would turn them in or betray them or discredit them? Well, we've been getting to that point for some time now. I was watching the news this morning how a couple passengers on an aircraft overheard a conversation from a group of people pertaining to where's the best place to sit on a plane. Remember, it was less than a month ago there was a plane crash in Denver. Well, these people were trying to figure out where's the safest place to sit on a plane. But because this family was different than everyone else, it got misconstrued. These people are terrorists. They have funny names with lots of consonants. They don't look like everyone else. Basically, it was ethnic profiling. And the airline threw them off and said, don't come back, even after the FBI said it was okay. But how did this all get started? It's because within our society, not just since 2001, we've basically been putting the hands of investigation into the hands of the people. Consider, for example, after the 9/11 attacks, where the federal government was saying, if you see or hear anything suspicious, call us. We'll get to the bottom of it. Or for that matter, with other law enforcement and those Crime Stopper lines. If you got a tip to a crime, well, call us and we'll give you money. Well, that's a very enticing operation. Within my profession as a teacher, teachers, nurses, doctors, we have an 800 number to call if we think that some child is not being properly raised or something like that. Oh, it's anonymous. I could call you or call on you. Do I have to have any proof? No, I just have to call an 800 number. Let them find the proof on you. That's a frightening prospect. And it divides us. Because we don't know whether other people or how they're going to understand us, interpret us, and turn us into some state authority. In fact, it's worse than that. Those people who do realize that it's not safe to interact with others, people who just simply value their privacy, are viewed with suspicion. Consider the 1990s. There was a group in Waco. Granted, they had some strange beliefs, but in general, had not been harming anybody. Well, the neighbors thought, they keep to themselves. There's something suspicious about them. Well, it took ATF, their tanks, to get to the bottom of that. Well, there was some collateral damage. 80 men, women, children burned out. But, the world is now safer. Or for that many other individuals. In other places that for whatever reason, because they were private individuals and not otherwise harming others, were viewed with suspicion. In the 1990s, there was a lot of concern with that, with regards to ATF. In the new millennium, it now deals with a different part of the government, Children's Services. How did Children's Services get involved with the situation in El Dorado, Texas, or here in Arkansas? Now, I'm not saying the people involved are innocent. There could very well be something there. But when you have the media go into these towns saying, what's going on with these other people? Why are they being moved in on? And all these raids. Interestingly enough, the town usually takes the support of the raids, saying, well, we don't know what's really going on in there. We're glad that we were raided. We'll really find out what's going on. But remember, when there's a raid, it's, in essence, not literally shoot first, ask questions later, but take everything and then let the courts sort it all out. Is that not a violation of the Fourth Amendment with regards to search and seizure? The Fifth Amendment, in terms of, well, now they've got you arrested, you now have to prove your innocence. Sixth Amendment, which deals with due process. It takes time for them to sort through it. Consider all those women who were taken out of the compound in Texas, who then had to, one, prove that they weren't involved, and then two, to be told, well, by the way, you're not going back. And this all before the judges actually said anything. All because the state thought that there was something wrong, but just hadn't quite proved it yet. Orwell warned us about this, that our fear would be not just from the state, but maybe the people around us, who then sick the state onto us, as if we are the criminals. Remember this, and watch your back.